Mark Morris is music director. The focus will be on music that Mark Morris knows and loves. Basically, American music, and specifically the American maverick composers Charles Ives, Henry Cowell, John Cage, and Lou Harrison. Harrison is the quintessential California composer who, believe it or not, has had only 4 works performed in the history of the Ojai Music Festival. Guests joining Mark will be, of course, his own great Mark Morris Dance Group, his own orchestra, the Mark Morris Dance Group Music Ensemble, conducted by a wonderful young conductor Jeff Malarski, who is conductor of the orchestra at Columbia University on the faculty of Juilliard. We'll also have pianist-composer Ethan Iverson and his very far-out jazz trio, the Bad Plus, the percussion group Redfish Bluefish, who performed in George Crumb's The Winds of Destiny 2 years ago, the University of California, Berkeley Gamelan, and the American String Quartet. The music starts on Thursday night with a concert by the Bad Plus that features its own amazing version of what is starting to become an Ojai regular, The Rite of Spring, for jazz trio. You have to hear this to believe it. And that'll be followed by a very different kind of event as Mark Morris leads us in social dancing at the Ojai Arts Center. Friday night is a 2-part concert starting at 7, which features the Mark Morris Dance Group, dancing 5 works choreographed by Mark to the works of Henry Cowell, Igor Stravinsky, Samuel Barber, Charles Ives, and closing with one of his most famous choreographies, the Grand Duo, which is based on Lou Harrison's great piece, The Grand Duo. Saturday evening features the music ensemble doing Lou Harrison's Suite for Symphonic Strings and John Luther Adams' piece for Lou Harrison, a haunting work for string orchestra and string quartet. And Sunday, there will be an American program with the sole string quartet by one of the greatest, I think, but least prolific American composers, Ruth Crawford Seeger, who happens to be the stepmother of the folk singer Pete Seeger. A string quartet by Ives, a collection of songs by Seeger, Cowell, Harrison, and Cage, and ending with an arrangement for everyone we can find of Charles Ruggles' great and somewhat familiar-sounding hymn called Exaltation, his last work written as a memorial to his wife. Mark will conduct, and the entire audience will join in the end as the congregation. Program is again in 2 parts. The first featuring an organ, a pipe organ. It'll be electronic, unfortunately. Organ music by Olivier Messiaen and Lou Harrison's Concerto for Organ and Percussion Orchestra. This is another work you just have to hear to believe. It is flat-out rock and roll. And the final concert presents 2 works by Cowell and 2 works of Harrison, ending with Lou Harrison's Concerto for Piano and Gamelan Orchestra. Why did Ojai choose a non-musician to be music director of this festival? The answer, of course, is that Mark is probably one of the greatest musicians I've ever met. He knows more music, and he absolutely knows what music is about. Why do we insist on pigeonholing everybody? How is it that great artists like Mark Morris are far ahead of institutions and audiences in breaking down barriers that separate genres, talent, and careers?